Bowie's technique that he did for a while in the 70s, where I think it's newspaper headlines.
Anything that gives your unconscious a chance to play.
Yes.
So if you're able to create this kind of like framework, like David Bowie was doing there, it might not be that you end up keeping those words. You've kind of like shaken off the kind of day-to-day things you have to do, and you've cut your mind into this slightly more open state.
That's very
and
cool.
It's allowing you to play more.
Andy Guitar at 2000 Trees Festival. I'm here with Ben Brown. How are
Yes! Thank you.
How are you?
Very
How's your
good.
weekend going, man?
Thank you very much
Are you
for having me.
surviving the heat?
Just about, although as you may have noticed, I'm wearing corduroy.
Corduroy is the summer festival outfit of choice.
Yeah, it's a bit unconventional, but
Look, style first.
yeah.
Style first, absolutely.
Genius.
You have an EP from last year out called Blue.
Yes.
Tell me about it. How did it come about?
Blue is an EP, is a collection of songs which I was invited to record in Frank Turner's music studio, shed music studio at the bottom of his garden in Mersey. He heard me perform at a barbecue.
Wow.
And invited me to his house to play my songs into a microphone. Not too dissimilar to this one.
Look, that must be fantastic to be almost kind of discovered, and not by a Simon Cowell type, but by someone who's got that sort of history, right?
By the punk rock Simon Cowell, yeah.
Yeah. That might stick, unfortunately. Right, so how do your songs come about?
How do my songs come about? They tend to start with, I might hear a turn of phrase.
Yeah, so maybe lyrics first.
I might hear a lyric or just something, the way someone said something in conversation. Or I might be kind of sat with the guitar and kind of just mucking about. Often when I'm trying to write something good, nothing comes out.
Yeah, the worst thing to do is like set time aside to, right, I'm going to write something great now.
Yeah,
right?
you have to put the work in. You have to put almost the work into the point of thinking this isn't going to happen, and then it starts to happen.
Something just happens.
Yeah, when you start to kind of give up the hope. You know, like for example, when I've been in bands, quite often the best ideas would come just when it's like, right, guys, you got to clear out the room now.
Just at the end. Is there any song specific, maybe from this recent EP that, you know, how did one specific come about, or one lyric?
The EP is called Blue, and the title track is called Blue. That was actually the first single. I remember being sat on the sofa, and quite often with my lyrics, I'll just start. It's almost like I try and get into stream of consciousness kind of state in a way.
Absolute flow state.
Yeah, flow state, where so the end of the line will inspire. It sounds completely obvious, but it will inspire the next line, but not because it's related to that line.
Just trail of thought.
Just trail of thought, and then I just trust that when I step back, it will be a whole image.
Yeah.
Quite often I think of songwriting as, once you've got an idea, is almost like a camera zooming in on a detail.
Yeah.
Finding that detail, finding what's interesting, what's intrigued you about that detail, and then slowly potentially pulling the camera out or moving the camera, or
fleshing
moving
out the story, but it actually starts almost with a moment, doesn't it?
Yeah. There was a really interesting piece by a poet called Ted Hughes who said, if you ever think you can't write about anything, just stare at your hand. And he goes on to say, like, look at the lines, look at the skin, think about the year, and how you can, if you really hyper focus on something, you can pull details out of it. I don't know if that's really explained.
I think that's a good point, because one thing I haven't covered this weekend is that good songs, it is often about the detail, and people who struggle with songs, just get specific on a moment is a very good tip for any aspiring songwriters out there.
So some tips that I do when I'm stuck on a lyric, if I've got an idea for a song, I'll have that first line or word, and sometimes I'll be like, do you know what, I've got no idea where I want to go with this. And I'll pull out, I've got some books, not loads of books, but I'll pull out books. It might be a book on traction engines, a book of poetry, and then a book about, I don't know, I'm not religious, but the Bible.
Yeah.
And you pull these 3 books out.
Popular.
Yes, it's available everywhere. And I'll pull these 3 books out, and I'll go, okay, sit with the guitar. And what I'll try to do is, I'll open them up, and I'll try to just look upon them, and whatever word catches my eye, I'll go with that, and then I'll look to the next one. And I'll try not to even, I'll be trying to be moving in this kind of state as if I'm kind of dodging a wasp mentally.
Yeah.
Not trying to fixate on anything, I'll get stuck. and eventually the words will start to form.
Yeah,
Might be the
quite a
shape
visual process.
Yeah, so that's like a tip that I sometimes employ when I'm stuck to keep the momentum going.
That reminds me of, but it's not the same, of Bowie's technique that he did for a while in the 70s, where I think it's newspaper headlines, and he'd rip them all
Yeah.
up and move them up and just sit there with a guitar and see what happened, basically.
Yeah, anything that gives your unconscious a chance to play.
Yes.
So if you're able to create this kind of like framework, like David Bowie was doing there, it might not be that you end up keeping those words, but you've you've kind of like shaken off the kind of day-to-day things you have to do, and you've cut your mind into this slightly more open state.
That's very
and
cool.
It's allowing you to play more. So by basically triggering yourself and trying to bring yourself back to that being a 4-year-old or something again. And
That's wonderful.
anything's possible then.
I want to ask you therefore about melody. Have you got any tips for people singing and coming up with a melody to play over their chords?
Sometimes if I'm trying to come up with something, and I'll put on, this is similar to the book idea, I'll put on the radio, because you never know what's going to be on the radio.
Yeah.
And I'll just spin a DAB radio, I'll just spin the channel to 80s hits or something.
Yeah.
And I will play that, and then as soon as I think I roughly know what's going on, I hope it's a song that I don't really know.
Yes.
As soon as I think I know what's going on, I'll turn it off and I'll go and try and play it. And in that period, from me walking over to going to try play it, it's gone through a filter, and all of a sudden, and I'm obviously going to get the chords wrong. My guitar's probably not in tune.
And you're adding what you can do, not what the person who was playing that song can do.
And then I've stumbled across something which I'll go, oh, sounds a bit like, but not really. And
Yes.
then that, and I may not even keep that.
Yeah.
But that will then be again, I've put myself into that open state. With melodies, I like to think that there are 3 main types of melody in a song. There's melodies which are kind of like ba 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 ba, like staying
Quite
on
monotone,
staying
which can
on
be
one.
more about the rhythm of the words.
Any pop song you put on, you'll generally hear it. You have the monotone, ba 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 ba, and then you have melodies which go na 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 na.
Often the verse will be one of those,
Yeah.
and whichever one they haven't used, the pre-chorus is the other.
Exactly.
That's the trick.
So you've got
and that's how you can keep a 4-chord song where it's the same all the way through.
Exactly.
Different because the melodies are forcing that.
Yeah, you've got the ones on single note. You've got the staircase, I call it, where you can kind of go up and down, maybe miss one step or two.
Of the major scale or something, right?
Yeah, and then I've got like what I like. I don't know what you'd call it, but melodies which leap from one note to another note. The prime example would be somewhere.
Yeah, octave leap, yeah.
Over the rainbow.
But then you can take it somewhere different once you've done the octave, right?
Yeah, and that they're quite exciting. So quite often they might be a chorus or something. So sometimes when I'm writing, I think, oh, what haven't I done yet? Oh, I haven't tried something like that, even just for a bar or two, just to. But you're completely right. That is how pop songs like Sabrina Carpenter keep you intrigued.
That's how they do
because
it.
They're swapping the melody around the whole time over the same chords.
Final question. What's a song from any era that you just think is a perfect song that you wish you'd written? What comes to mind?
I really, really like the song Sunny Afternoon by the Kinks.
Oh, yes.
Me and my brothers used to dance to that. We used to have this game called Big Fat Mama where because it goes, I've got a big fat mama trying to break me.
Yeah.
We used to run into each other in the living room.
That's fun.
That was kind of like the first song I remember. It's got like a bum bum bum
descending bass note and
bum 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 bum
yeah.
bum 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 bum.
We have a tutorial for that one as well.
Have you?
Oh, yeah. It's a classic.
I'm going to check out that tutorial
Please
because
do. It's hard to do on one guitar. There's different options, yeah.
Because I was asked to play that song at a friend's birthday party, and I didn't play it because I couldn't actually work out how to do it. So I'm going to check out your tutorial on Sunny
Please
Afternoon.
do, man. Well, thank you for the prompt. But Ben Brown, thank you so much for talking with us and spending some time with us. Check him out, Ben Brown. We'll leave some links down below.
All right, thank you for having me.
Sweet. That was super fun. We genuinely do as well.